Right, we're back on the farmhouse project. This is part 2 now, and we've had some devastating news this week. The Planning Authority at Burnley Council have now rejected our application to rebuild the farmhouse in the current desolate state that it is. What they're saying is that it's going to affect the character of the landscape. But this is even though we put in the application we were going to rebuild the farmhouse in exactly the same place and also exactly the same design and layout that the farmhouse is at the minute. Like I said on part 1, we've got loads of structural issues with this building, and it just seemed the right move to actually just rebuild it rather than try and retrofit this building, because there's so much work to be done. We submitted this back in August 2022. And the council have basically waited for weeks and weeks and weeks. They asked for revised ecology on the site, which we've done. We've put new ecology reports in. We've put new coal mining reports in there as well to satisfy them. And then we had 6 weeks that we've just had recently, and the council has promised us that they would do it, and it was all going through. We were talking about pre-commencement conditions. And then right at the last minute, they've refused it. And it seems that the council, if you're doing a big development round in Burnley, the council will pass it and rubber stamp it straight away and you get it rushed through planning. But if, like us, you're just a small business, the council kind of make it really, really hard work for you to do anything. We've been battling for the planning for this for the last 3 years now. All those applications have been delayed. One of them was over 14 months before the actually refused it. So we're spending a ton of money on reports, trying to satisfy the council with everything that they need, and they're taking forever with the applications where there's no real need. This should have gone through in 8 weeks really. We should have had a decision in 8 weeks, but here we are 30 weeks on, and they've put together this refusal. There's no real justification for it, but the frustrating thing is really that it's costing us a lot of money personally to keep producing reports and trying to satisfy the council, and it's also costing the taxpayer a lot of money, because the longer the council takes to do it, and they've got to review all the documents that we put in, it's all money that's taxpayers' money that's being used, and we're not really getting anywhere. So here you can see the wildlife tower that we're actually building on the site, and we're kind of going above and beyond to look after the wildlife and the ecology around the site. And this is one of the frustrating things with Burnley Council's planning department, whereas developers locally, there's loads going up on Rosendale Road now, they can basically do absolute minimal ecology and they get to develop a 30-acre site, and we're trying to enhance the landscape around the countryside here, and you can see with the wildlife tower there, we didn't need to do that. We could have just put a couple of barn owl boxes up and mitigate it brilliantly. But we're kind of looking after the ecology on the site and the surrounding areas. And I would have thought that this would have been a good thing, that Burnley Council would want to promote, developers that are doing sustainable, well-developed sites. We've also allocated just under an acre for tree planting as well, where we're going to join 2 ancient woodlands together that are split apart by some land that we got with this site. If you're a large developer looking to build stuff in Burnley, you've got free rein basically, but small residents like ourselves that just want to make a nice home for ourselves, the planning department make it as hard as possible to do anything. And you would have think that it would be a good thing. This building and this site's been derelict for the last 10 years, and we're bringing it back to life. We've done a lot of maintenance around the site. We've improved the drainage already. It seems that Burnley Council's planning department, like I said earlier, they'll rubber stamp all the big developments because they don't want to fight against them. But just a general average resident of Burnley, they make it as difficult as possible to do any development. It's just like they've got a little bit of power there, and they just like to, again, waste taxpayers' money and make our life difficult and their own life difficult. So what we'll do is we'll put an appeal in against this application. Hopefully the Planning Inspectorate will see sense that it all makes sense to really rebuild this. and kind of overrule Burnley Council's decision to refuse it. Hopefully we can go to a Planning Inspectorate, they're going to see sense, and we'll see what happens in the next one.